Hello and welcome to Euphoria. Today we're going to take a quick look at whether artificial intelligence can help me design a LEGO MOC. I'm not an AI expert, so we'll be looking at this from a user's perspective as I play with the technology.
Here's a visual representation of your requested design on a 32 by 32 stud base plate. Dun 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 dun.
I'm sure that many of you will be far more adept at this than I am. So, if you are, please just bear with me.
But for those of you who haven't seen this before, you may be amazed. Or at least interested.
So what do I want to do with AI? Well, I'm in the process of thinking about a new LEGO MOC. I'd like to create a pub or tavern for the old town area of my LEGO city. I'm thinking of replacing this building, which is on the normal 32 by 32 stud baseplate, or this one, which is a half modular building on a 16 by 32 stud baseplate. I'm not sure about the style of the building. It could be a very traditional and old-fashioned tavern, a bit like the three broomsticks in the Harry Potter films. I mention that because there is a small LEGO set for it, which might contain useful parts. Or I could design a slightly more recent but still traditional pub like this one. So let's see if artificial intelligence can help me with this idea. There seems to be no single definition of AI, but it's generally used to refer to the ability of machines and computers to perform tasks that would normally require human intelligence. That includes things like recognizing patterns and making predictions. There are plenty of AI-enabled tools out there already, and a simple search reveals how many of them are readily available. These range from chatbots to image and content creation tools, voice and music generation, planning, scheduling and organising tools, and many others. Many of the software tools we use every day are having elements of AI incorporated into their programming to make them easier to use and more capable. AI is developing really fast, and you might be amazed at the pace of some recent developments.
Hello and welcome to Euphoria. This channel is all about enjoying LEGO, building my own creations and LEGO sets, and providing you with updates on my LEGO city. Please like and subscribe.
One of the most famous and mainstream examples of AI is ChatGPT, which is a chatbot able to have conversations about almost any topic based on a large language model. It's been incorporated into Microsoft's search engine Bing and its web browser Edge as a feature called Copilot, which is also a downloadable app for Apple devices and now also includes access to Microsoft Designer, which is an image generation tool that generates images based on text prompts. As this is free, at least for limited use, I thought I'd have a play with it. I'm going to start by just opening the Copilot sidebar on Microsoft Edge which is their integration of ChatGPT into the browser. There are 3 modes to the chatbot: creative, balanced and precise, and I'm going to try the balanced mode. So in here I can ask the chatbot anything. So for example, I can just ask it, what's new from LEGO? And using the web, it goes away and tells me about lots of new things that are coming out or have recently come out from LEGO. Now I'm going to ask it to create a design for me, and I'll start with a request in here. Please create a design for a LEGO modular building on a 32 by 32 stud baseplate. That's an old pub with an entrance at the corner of the ground floor, with green tiled walls on the ground floor and a brick or wooden structure above with a pitched roof.
Certainly. Let's design a charming LEGO modular building that captures the essence of an old pub. Here's a visual representation of your requested design on a 32 by 32 stud base plate. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
So that didn't do what I expected at all. So sometimes the AI seems to go a bit mad. I will try that again, and this time I'll type in exactly what I want. So I'll try that again using a typed in request. See if it has a brain seizure this time or not. So this time it says I'll try to create that, and this is the image designer from Microsoft generating the image, and it creates 4 alternative images and a few suggested actions. I've played with this a little before, and I found that the results vary a lot depending on how you phrase a request, and if you want particular things you have to specify them. So let's take a look at what it produced. This is what the AI produced. At first you might think, wow, it's produced 4 designs for LEGO sets. But then you realise it's produced 4 images of things that look like they could be made of LEGO. They're all reasonable attempts at buildings that could be a pub. Some of them have the requested green walls on the ground floor and different coloured walls above, and a pitched roof as requested, and some of them, at least, in fact all of them in this time, have produced an image with a door at the corner. The results are no doubt based on a rehash of images of pubs found on the internet, and rendered in the style of an image of a LEGO modular building. This looks like quite a good idea of what could be a LEGO MOC. The design's on a squarish base, and the AI has done well to include a pavement round the outside, at least on the two sides, to make it into a corner modular building. It's added some interesting details outside the pub, such as a bench, this canopy, and a bin. And I hadn't asked for those, but they go well with the pub theme, so they're fair enough. The walls of the ground floor are green, although on this one the upstairs is mostly green as well, whereas on this design it's produced a nice contrast on the upper story, and it's produced an interesting design for the roof line, and it's even included a couple of brick chimneys. So, as you can see, they're all kind of variations on a theme, and there are some good ideas here for what could be the design for a pub. I think the images fit the brief fairly well, and as a starting point for some design ideas, they're not bad. But when we look at these a bit more closely, we can see that these are not things that are made out of Lego. Although it looks like it might be made out of Lego, it clearly isn't. And there are lots of shapes and details that would be quite difficult to create in Lego. For example, it looks like the roof is made out of slope bricks or maybe tiles, but I think it would actually be rather hard to produce that design in Lego, and you'd certainly struggle to make the angled roofs join in the way that's shown in this picture. You know, this door, this sign, and these windows certainly can't be made directly out of Lego, although there may be some ways to approximate these using regular Lego parts. And much of the detail on the exterior would be really difficult to achieve using normally available Lego elements. There are some interesting choices of colours, using these bricks in sort of tan and possibly medium nougat, although I don't think the AI has taken account of colours that are actually available in Lego bricks, but nevertheless I quite like the colour scheme that it's come up with. So, fair enough, the AI has produced pictures of things that look like they might be made out of Lego. So, the AI has suggested some follow-on actions here, like add some outdoor seating for the pub, include a hidden basement entrance, or how about adding an old-fashioned sign? So I decided to play along with the AI to see what would happen. So let's choose this one to see what it's going to do. It has to search for the right action, and it tries to produce a rather naff image of a sign. I don't think that worked very well at all. Let's see if it can actually make an image of that. Add an old-fashioned sign to the pub image. Okay, now it is generating an image. And it's produced 4 very similar designs. This one's called the Leo Corner Pub, and it's got a sign outside. This one doesn't have a sign despite asking for a sign. This one's rather busy with lots of other buildings around it. That's quite an interesting idea, although the roof design leaves a lot to be desired. And which one was it? Maybe this one. No, I did that one. So here's another design with a signboard outside, which is quite neat. Again, the roof would be really difficult to produce. So I want to push the AI a bit and see how much it understands about Lego. So let's ask it, could you show me how that would be made of actual Lego bricks? So off it goes. Let's have a look at what it said. Step-by-step breakdown of how you can build the Lego Corner modular building, the Rusty Tankard. So start with a 32 by 32 stud base plate. Grey or tan would work well for an old pub. For the ground floor, use green tiles to represent the pub's exterior walls. Add a corner entrance using regular bricks. Consider adding a small window or 2 on the ground floor. Upper structure above the green tiled walls. Build the upper structure using brick or wooden elements, which is interesting given that it's Lego. Create a pitched roof with slopes or inverted slopes. You can use brown or dark grey bricks for the roof. Add some windows on the upper levels, perhaps with flower boxes or shutters. Then it's got the idea of using the sign, building the sign using some small plates or tiles. And arrange the letters slightly crooked to give it character, which it would be difficult given that there aren't actually any letters in Lego. And attach the sign to the building using a wrought iron bracket. So it does know something about Lego because it says you can use clips or hinges. It's suggesting to add lampposts using a transparent round plate for the light, and add a few barrels or flower pots outside the pub. And then it says, remember, Lego building is all about creativity, so feel free to modify and personalise the design as you like. So this seems fair enough as a general approach. Start with the base plate, build the ground floor, build the next floor or upper structure, add a sign and the roof, and then add some details and accessories. All very good, but it doesn't actually tell me what Lego elements to use or how to represent these shapes using Lego elements at all. For example, it knows about a 32 by 32 stud base plate, but on the other hand I told it that as part of the question. It's clearly heard of slopes or inverted slopes, but it's not really giving me any idea about how to actually make this out of Lego elements that are actually available. And it does know something about the fact that there are tiles as well as regular bricks, and it probably understands something about the fact there might be a window element and maybe a door element. So although it knows something about Lego and the types of elements, it has no clear understanding of the variety of elements needed or how Lego elements really fit together. Let's play along a bit more and see if the AI can invent a suitable name for the pub. Could you think of some cool ideas for the name of the pub? So it comes up with some interesting names for a pub. Rusty Tankard, Frothy Foxhole, Ye Olde Hops and Hearth, Tipsy Turret, and so on. Although none of them are particularly relevant to Lego or the design of the pub. I could continue the dialogue and ask for some better ideas for names, but I think you get the idea. So the AI's made some suggestions here, like adding a hidden basement entrance again, or what about some interior details, or can you show me the back of the building? So let's see what it thinks would be interior details for such a pub. So it's coming up with some really good ideas for the interior of a pub, which maybe nothing to do with Lego, but you've got a bar counter and stools, which you would kind of expect. Fireplace and hearth, which is often inside a cosy pub. Bookshelves and nooks, just for interest inside. Dartboard, yes, a lot of pubs have a dartboard. Ceiling beams and chandeliers, which you might find in an old style pub. Obviously tables and chairs, some wall decorations. That's an interesting idea for a secret passageway or a hidden room. Stained glass windows, which you do sometimes see, or with coloured glass anyway, in a pub. And a live music stage. So actually it's created some really interesting ideas that I wouldn't necessarily have thought of for the interior of the pub. Now looking at these images, I've realised they have far too much detail for something that's going to be created to minifig scale, when there are only sort of 20 or 24 studs wide each side. So I just wonder if I can ask the AI, could you make a design to minifig scale, to see if that makes any difference. Excuse my typing. So actually it's concentrating on the interior. Green tiles for the walls, regular bricks, windows. Yeah, so this is pretty much the same as it was before, to be honest. It's adding minifigure sized bar stools and transparent orange or yellow plates for flames in the fireplace. And it's suggesting to use 1x1 tiles for tiny Lego books, and a printed target tile for the dartboard, brown plates or tiles for ceiling beams, and so it's got a little bit more idea about the kind of Lego bricks to use, but it's also suggesting adding minifigures and suggesting that at minifig scale every detail matters, which we kind of know about already. So we could go on with this almost ad infinitum. There are almost infinite possible variations, and the results depend very much on the query that you start with and the subsequent dialogue. Just for an example, if I start asking it for a traditional tavern instead of an old pub, and miss out the entrance at the corner and the green tiled walls, perhaps have a masonry walls on the ground floor, masonry walls on the ground floor, so with that query it will probably produce something completely different. So now we've got images still with a sloped roof, but with more traditional half-timbered walls and a masonry ground floor, done quite well to fit it onto a corner base plates. This one's completely different. Another one very different with a rather strange roof. Nice corner balcony though, although there's no door to get out to it. And another sort of more medieval looking building. I'm not going to show you any more, I think you kind of get the idea. So that was really just me having a little play with some of the current AI technology. I'm not sure I'll be using any of those results as the basis for my next mock, but there are some interesting ideas there. I could probably gather ideas myself using search tools and imaging apps such as Pinterest, but using the AI is probably a quicker way, providing you ask it the right questions. I have no affiliation with any of these tools or vendors, but I'll put links to a couple of them in the description below this video. So in conclusion, I don't think this AI tool, at least, is an easy way to create an actual design for a Lego set or MOC, but it might be an interesting way to search for or create some ideas that might be useful in creating a design. I think the difficulty will be in curating all the thousands of possibilities and choosing those that you want to invest your time into developing further. But if you're looking for some ideas, want to have a play, or just desperate for something to talk to, it might be worth seeing if these tools do anything for you. I think it's worth saying that I'm not looking to AI to generate my content. And although there are virtual Lego worlds and virtual building tools, I still want the experience and pleasure of building with real Lego. I'm hoping to be back to my normal Lego for the next video. So don't forget to support the channel by hitting that like button. Use the bell button to be notified of new videos, and subscribe to the channel to see more about my MOCs, other builds and ideas, and updates on my Lego City.